All right, I'd like to call the order of the Board of Public Works this evening. Clerk Galeazzi, could we have a roll call, please?
Alderman Benner. Alderman Nichols. Here. Alderman Taylor. Alderman Kraut-Kramer. Here. Alderman Langdon.
Here.
Alderman Kean. Here. Alderman Zielinski has been excused.
Thank you. The next item C is to approve the minutes from the July 6th meeting. Do I have a motion for that? Alderman Taylor?
Mr. Vice Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of July 6, 2015, 1 and 2.
I have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Kraut-Kramer. Okay, tonight we have, all in favor? Aye. Oppose? No. Okay. The motion, the minutes are accepted. All right, we'll move on to D, action items. Tonight we have 7 action items. The first action item is street use application out of Grunsky, Saturday, August 8th, 2015, 6 p.m. to 11. Is that 6 a.m.? Correct. 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the city of Menasha. Brian's not here. Mark, is there anything you'd like to add? It's pretty simple.
I did have a condition or a note on my approval that Broad Street from Taco to Lush, it's possible that that will be under construction at that time. And I mentioned that to Brian, and then they said they can easily do an alternate route if that is the case down different streets. So he was not that concerned about that particular location.
Okay. Do I have a motion to forward this on to council? Alderman Taylor.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve street use application out of Grunsky, Saturday, August 8, 2015, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., City of Menasha.
There's a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Michael Kean, Alderman Kean. That motion is accepted, and we'll move on to council. All in favor? Aye. Oppose? Then that will move on to council. Number 3, payment, Yankee General Contractors. Make sure I get...
Number 2.
Oh, number 2. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Action item number 2, payment, Yankee General Contractors, the Gilbert Riverfront Trail, contract number 2014-03, in the amount of $51,675.49. That would be payment number 4. Director Radke?
Okay, they've been making progress. This project is for the actual concrete trail and a portion of the abutment on the trestle. If you've been out to the project site lately, you'll see that there's been a lot of progress made on both of these projects. So everything is in order, and we're recommending approval of the request for payment.
Okay. Do I have a motion for number 2? Alderman Taylor.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'll make a motion for payment, Yankee General Contractors, Gilbert Riverfront Trail, contract number 2014-03, in the amount of $51,675.49, payment number 4.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Alderman Kean? Second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, this will take a roll call on, please.
Motion carried on roll call 6-0.
Okay, action item number 3, payment, Yankee General Contractors, Gilbert Trestle Improvements, contract number 2014-04, for the amount of $20,045. Payment number 2, Director Radke.
Okay, there hasn't been as much visual work that you can see out on this particular project, but this takes into effect the shortened portion of the trestle trail that is being used, and again, progress is being made, and I think in 2 to 3 weeks you will see, if not the total completion, the substantial completion of both these projects. So we're recommending approval of this payment request as well.
Okay. Do we have a motion for action item number 3? Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I'll make a motion for payment for Yankee General Contractors, Gilbert Trestle Improvements, contract number 2014-04, in the amount of $20,045, payment number 2.
Thank you. I have a motion. Is there a second? Alderman Keehan. Any further discussion? I do have one question, Mark. You said in a few weeks the trail should be completed? Is that correct?
Yeah, if they continue to make the progress that they have been, it's expected that in 2 to 3 weeks they'll have all of their work completed. There's still some follow-up work that partially will be done by city crews and partially by Menasha Utilities crews with the lighting and the landscape work.
Okay. I got another question on, do you know, Brian's not here, but I talked to Brian earlier, and he mentioned about the trail has a couple of places built underneath for fishermen. Is that, am I
There
saying
is
that
one-
right? Or,
Yeah,
or like
there's a
one where
location just
there's-
west of the trestle where there will be an area that is designated for fishermen, and then think that there would be other locations where they would be able to fish, but there's one that I know, Greg.
One, I think that's
Yeah,
like,
just- yeah.
and that's like the hot spot, I guess, or probably like when the dam is open or
Real
something.
ranch hot spot.
The alleged hot spot. All right, thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll take a roll call on that, please.
Motion carried on roll call 6-0.
Okay, thank you. Next action item, payment, Northeast Asphalt, Inc., new street construction and reconstruction, concrete curb and gutter, asphalt paving, storm sewer for Southfield West, Nature's Way subdivision streets, Barker Farm 6 subdivision streets, River Leah Court, Broad Street, Ida Street, Manitowoc Street, and Lincoln Street. Contract number 2015-01 for the amount of $283,358.37. That will be payment number 2. Director Radke.
Okay, this payment request only involves work on the Barker Farm 6 subdivision streets and the Southfield West Nature's Way subdivision streets. But work essentially is completed now as of last Friday in those 2 subdivisions. So it's a large payment request, and but there's been a lot of work done in this last 2-week period. So we again are recommending approval of this payment.
So that's just for the Nature's Way subdivision streets and the Barker Farms?
Correct.
So we don't need
Southfield West.
to say all the other,
No, that's the
streets in
entitled,
there.
that's the description and name of the contract in which areas and streets that it does include, so.
okay,
But
so,
yes, the work on, that has been done during this period has just been in those 2
so
subdivisions.
for the motion, they just have to say those 2 streets and not everything?
It's fine by me.
Okay.
As long as they get the contract number right and the payment right.
Okay. I have do I have a motion, Alderman Taylor?
I'll make a motion for a payment to Northeast Asphalt as read by Vice Chairman Langdon.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second? Alderman Keehan, second. Any further discussion? Alderman Taylor? Nope, you're good. Okay, any further discussion? All right, we'll take a roll call, please.
Motion carried on roll call 6-0.
Okay, on this one, action item 5, we have a recommendation to impose temporary parking restriction along the east side of Mill Street for office tower project. Director Radke?
Okay, last year, the council adopted an ordinance that added a section to the municipal code that addresses the issues of limited term parking situations. And what this section does, it does grant the authority to the Board of Public Works for imposing temporary restrictions or removal of parking restrictions or allowing parking for a period of at least 30 days, but not to exceed 1 year. And that's the situation that we have encountered here on Mill Street, the east side of Mill Street. The contractor, it's necessary for them to occupy a portion of the west side of Mill Street. That was done through a street occupancy permit, and the remnant width for Mill Street was insufficient to allow two-way traffic, two-way opposing direction traffic, along with the parking stalls on the east side. So we are recommending that it only impacts 2 stalls, that be restricted during the term of the construction project, which is not expected to be longer than a year at this point.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion for number 5, Alderman Taylor?
Mr. Vice Chairman, I'll make a motion for the recommendation to impose temporary parking restriction along the east side of Mill Street for the office tower project.
There's a motion made, a second. Director Keehan, or Alderman Keehan? Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take roll call on this one.
Motion carried on roll call 6-0.
Thank you. Action item number 6. This is a report on the methodology for stormwater charges from various communities. Director Stino?
So this is a follow-up from when we gave the first half. It was actually the first quarter report on the stormwater. 2 questions had come up. One of them was to go back and look at our comps, other communities in the area and size-wise, and determine how they're charging both what the square footage of each ERU is, as well as how a single-family, duplex, triplex, and commercial properties get charged. So that's what page number 1 of item number 6 shows. Page number 2 is just a repeat. That's the same comparison that we provided last time with that report, explaining the charges for each of those communities, as well as the Q&A on stormwater utility details that are on pages 3, 4, and 5. So this information, as we've discussed a couple times this evening, and even when we did the report, what we are doing is we're looking at a rate recommendation as far as the stormwater utility goes. As we discussed last year during the budget process, we have 2 choices. We can either increase our rates to support the projects and the initiatives that are being done by the stormwater utility, or we need to curtail what we're doing so that we can remain solvent. So that would be all I have in number 6, if there's any questions on that.
Any questions for Director Stino? Alderman Taylor? No. Okay, this is just a report, not a vote, Mayor. This is just a communication. Yeah, we're not taking action. Okay, any questions for this one? Okay, number 7, report on 2009 to 2014 departmental expense breakdown for the stormwater utility. And again, this is just a communication from Director Stino to the council. Director Stino?
So this was the second question that was asked, was basically the council had requested from the inception of the stormwater utility in 2009 until current, what were the breakdowns of how much the expenses were per division or department, and that would be shown under the expenses. What I also wanted to point out here is the indication for the need of a rate increase. If you read right across the bottom under net operations, you will see very clearly that we're doing more than we're supporting as far as revenues go right now. So there does have to be a decision made rather quickly on how we want to proceed with the stormwater utility. And as far as completing projects and doing work and how we're collecting revenues.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions for Director Stino? I have one. So Director Stino, would it be fair to say that by looking at these numbers, we're not bringing enough in? So a few months ago, or no, in June meeting, you gave us communications on, at that time you said in a couple of years we need to look at this now, because in a couple of years we could be broke. But looking at these numbers here, would it be fair for me to say that we could be there now?
I don't think we're there now.
Okay.
I think at the end of 2013 and 2014, we still had cash in our accounts. We still do as of right now, but if we do all of the projects that we're looking at in 2015 without consideration of a rate increase, we would be looking at insolvency in the stormwater utility in the very near future.
Okay, so shortly then, the council is we're gonna make a decision on whether or not we increase the rate or maybe cut back on projects for 2016? Is that fair to say? Would that be?
Actually, I would say we'd have to relook at 2015 as well, because with the projections of the 619,000, which could be a little high, we need to make that decision sooner rather than later and map out our progress. We do hope to have a rate recommendation at the next council meeting, or at the next Board of Public Works meeting.
Okay, talking with Nick Vandehay that was in here earlier, and I asked him a question, and he said, yeah, even if we get behind a little bit, we're just going to play catch up and really never be able to catch up. That's how severe that we need to really look at this.
Because all of the costs he's talking about, those aren't factored into this at all yet. Those are costs that are coming in the future. So what we need to do is position ourselves to be able to have a good start, a good base, so that we can, likely we'll be raising rates during that time period as well. But if we can start now and build our way up, we won't have to increase them quite so sharply as we would otherwise.
Okay, so you'll have a recommendation
In August.
in August on how much we should, if we're going to increase, how much we should increase?
Right.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Director Stino? Okay, I see none. That was again just a communication, so no action taken. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Alderman Taylor?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Alderman Keehan, second for adjournment. We are adjourned. Thank you. Oh, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? No. Now we are adjourned.